I have a 10-year-old son Tyler with my ex. I have primary custody and he gets him on weekend. We had co-parented well so far. I am from Asia, where private schools are only good mode of education. I decided not to marry till my son is gone to college. I am a banker, so I earn well for both of us, and the CS I get, I put it in his savings. I also pay for his private school, which cost a lot. But I can afford it. My ex got married to Lila last year and she brought 2 kids. One is 10 and in same grade as my son. Second is 8. My son already feels his father has taken away their one-to-one by time with the other children, as most activities are group activities. And he gives 0 time to son alone. Stepmom also tried to parent him and he hates it. Kids are cordial but don't see each others as siblings. So this weekend ex and his wife invited me to dinner. I went, and after dinner, they told kids to go to room to have discussion with me. They said they can't afford same private school for the other kids. And for equality of kids, they need to pull my son out of school. They told how beneficial it will be the elder step kid and my son to be in same school and class. I was pissed and laughed at them. I told their financial issues aren't my problem and I am not changing my son's school. They doubled down. But I stood firm and took my son back. Since then they are blaming that I want their family to fail and how my son doesn't talk to other kids much. I told them developing the relationship between kids is ex's job, not mine. I don't badmouth them or the other kids. But I don't see it as my responsibility to grow their relation on his dad's side. Second, if father is going to put his new kids over his own, it is what leading to Tyler being distant with other kids. They are calling me a hole, and his new wife said to me, for Tyler she isn't going to deny her kids a father. I told her that she is no less than evil step monster. Edit. I forgot to add. Because kids won't have equal things. My son already have more branded things which I can afford, and my parents buy him a lot of things. As I am only child and he is their only grandchild. He is pampered a lot by my side and they have issue with that too. I won't deny my kids good things because they can't afford for her children. Regarding one-to-one, X said our son needs to adjust for his new siblings and it is family time. Comment 1. NTA. Do you have a formal custody arrangement? If so, does it lay out the schooling for your son? If it does, then pull it out and tell your ex that you're enforcing the custody arrangement, and he's welcome to try and tell a judge that depriving your son for the sake of ex's stepkids is a good idea. If it doesn't, you need to contact a lawyer and get these details locked into a legal agreement. Possibly will need to take ex to court for this, but it'd be worth it. If there's no formal custody arrangement, you need to contact a lawyer and get one in place ASAP. Comment 2. If your son is doing well in his current school, there is 0 reason to remove him from it, and doing so against his wishes would probably ruin any chance of a relationship between him and his steps. Dad and his new wife will simply have to find other ways to get their kids to bond. Comment 3. NTA. Do not send your son to their house with any expensive or brand things. Those items may somehow get ruined or lost. Read your comment about the custody agreement. Thank heavens you have that in place. You may want to speak to the school officials and your child's doctors. Make sure they understand that Lila is not to have any information concerning your son's health records. She cannot pick him up at school. Story 2. My friend and his wife have made plans to visit us this summer for a weekend stay. The flight is 2 hours, so not a really long journey for them. We have our home professionally cleaned regularly and go all in to be good hosts to our guests. However, with any good thing, some people try to take advantage. I usually will take an extra day from work after guests leave to get rest or even tidy up the house a bit. It's just a peaceful time for me to return to the normalcy of our household after being in host mode. Before my friend booked his flight, my husband let it slip that I will not be working the Monday after my friends stay with us. Next thing I know, my friend tells me that they will be flying out on a redder the Monday I took off for rest. This means they will arrive early Friday morning, and leave late Monday night. To that I responded that I will be taking them to the airport as early as 8 a.m. Monday morning so I can have my day of rest like I planned. My friend tells me that he doesn't understand why they can't just hang out at our place or have us show them around town more on that Monday since they have a late flight. I explained to them that the day off is for me to rest, not to continue to be their host. I told them that they are more than welcome to leave their luggage here if they want to go explore on their own, but we will not be hosting them or playing tour guide after Monday morning. He goes on to admit that it was cheaper for him to book the later flight on Monday and that it's not a big deal for him and his wife to just hang out at my house all day until it's time for them to fly out. Keep in mind that I will have to take them to the airport or pay for rideshare because he refuses to pay. I will also have to feed them. I told him that they are welcome to visit and stay with us, but staying at our house all day Monday is not an option and he needs to make other arrangements. He's now accusing me of being a horrible friend and his wife says we're ours. Your thoughts? Comment 1. ESH Your friends are not being unreasonable by asking you to spend Monday with them or just let them hang out, but they are being unreasonable by not taking no for an answer. But you sound like the least gracious host in town. Like, why have people visit if the thought of spending 12 extra hours with them causes you such trauma? Using the term loosely, of course. It shouldn't be traumatic, but you are making it so. You sounded exhausting. Comment 2. I'm confused. Are these your actual friends? Because if they are, why wouldn't you want to spend as much time with them as possible considering they live a flight away? Do you really need a full day of rest to recover from a few days with them? I agree they should not have assumed they could stay Monday or that you'd drive them. However, as a friend I'd be glad they could save money and to see them longer. Maybe compromise and take them to the airport early afternoon. Or just let them hang at your house on Monday but don't entertain them. This sounds like a strange friendship. Comment 3. This is so weird. Your friends are weird because they decided to stay an extra day instead of asking if they could stay an extra day. You are weird for making such a big deal out of kicking them out of the house. Why can't you just tell them that you have other plans and it's not convenient instead of climbing a hill to die on? Story 3. So I, 23F, live alone in a small 2-bedroom house. One room is mine, the other one is basically my everything room. It's my office, my closet, storage. Sometimes I just lay on the floor in there and stare at the ceiling when life sucks lol. It is not a guest room. I've lived with horrible roommates before, so I worked really hard to be able to afford my own place, and I love having my space. It's literally my safe little bubble. Anyways, one of my co-workers, 25F, got into a huge fight with her roommates and they kicked her out. She was venting at work and I felt bad and was like, that sucks and even sent her a few places to look at. I was trying to be helpful without inviting chaos into my life, you know? Later that night she texts me saying, hey, I was thinking maybe I could just crash with you for a few weeks since you live alone and have the space. I literally got that sinking feeling in my chest. No, I'm not even close to her. We're cool at work but we've never even hung out outside of lunch breaks and complaining about our boss. She doesn't know anything about me. And I don't know her like that. Why would she live in my house? So I replied super politely, like, I totally get that you're going through it, but I really value my space and I'm just not in a place where I can have someone stay with me. Like, I was nice. Didn't ghost her. Didn't ignore her. Just said no. Next day she's acting really weird. Then another co-worker tells me she said I let her be homeless when I have an entire room to myself. Like, girl. First of all, she's staying at her BF's place. Second of all, I pay to live alone. That's the whole point. I don't want to feel tense or uncomfortable in my own space. I don't want to tiptoe around a person I barely know. And I definitely don't want to deal with just a few weeks turning into I'm looking but nothing's coming through yet for 2 months. Now people at work are acting like I'm the bad guy. Sorry for not letting a co-worker move into my apartment because she had a bad fight. I don't know. I feel bad but like. Also no. Comment 1. NTA. Maybe you could practice saying something like, It's weird she's saying that. I sent her a couple places to look at because I just don't have the space. Make it feel like she's intruding, which she is, and how weird and uncomfortable it is that she asked someone she doesn't know to live with them. Also, if she got into a fight with her roommates that's so bad they kicked her out, that's a red flag. It's also a red flag that she's staying with her BF and wants to move in with a stranger. This is giving missing reasons vibes. Comment 2. NTA. Anyone who suggests you're letting her be homeless should be reminded that by that metric, they are also letting her be homeless. And anytime someone asks you for a favor and includes the reason that the favor will be no trouble for you with info you already know, such as the size of your place, do not do that favor. Your instincts were 100% correct. Keep on enjoying your space and not being an asshole. You dodged a major bullet saying no. Comment 3. NTA. You don't need to have a reason, no is perfectly suitable. If they're so worried about her, why don't they offer up a spot? Tell them to mind their own damn business and to go duck themselves if they don't like it. Story 4. Okay, so I, 22F, live with my roommate, 23F, and we've been living together for about a year now. She's super chill and we've always gotten along, until recently. A few months ago, her boyfriend basically moved in. Like, he's here all the time. Sleeps over 5 to 6 nights a week, uses our shower, watches TV in the living room, the whole deal. He doesn't pay rent or utilities, but whatever, not my relationship. The problem is he keeps eating my food. At first it was little things, a soda here, some chips there. I let it go because I didn't want to be petty. Then it became, like, full meals. Leftovers I was saving, stuff I specifically bought for myself. I even started labeling things, but he still helped himself. I've brought it up to my roommate twice now. First time, she kind of laughed it off and said she'd talk to him. Nothing changed. The second time, she told me he's here so much we should just share groceries. I said no, I already budget tightly, and I don't think it's fair to suddenly feed a whole extra person. The last straw was last week. I had a little cake I got to treat myself after a rough day. Wrote my name on it and everything. Came home from work and surprise it was gone. I was so mad I sent her a long text saying from now on, my food is off limits, period. She's been super cold ever since. Says I'm being territorial and unwelcoming. Some of our friends are telling me it's not that deep and I should chill, but I feel like I'm being taken advantage of here. Comment 1. I would escalate this to the landlord. Unless the boyfriend is on the lease, most landlords have rules about how long guests can stay overnight per week. You might already be paying higher amounts in utilities like water and electricity, because one whole extra person is using those resources. You are completely NTA, but your roommate and her boyfriend certainly are. Food is expensive, you have no obligation to feed someone who is clearly a moocher, and a thief as well. Comment 2. NTA. And those friends who are telling you it's not that deep should pay for his food if they feel so strongly about it. But you'll need to have a sit-down convo about expectations with roomie moving forward. Boyfriend should not be taking over the whole apartment and eating all the food. That's bananas. I, 35F, have an 8-year-old daughter who's turning 9 next month. She goes to a small school and there are only 6 other girls in her year. For her birthday, she's asked for a small sleepover party with just the girls from her class, which I'm happy to host at mine. Here's the issue. One of the girls in her year has been relentlessly bullying her for the past 6 months. She's flushed one of my daughter's toys down the toilet, regularly yells at her during break time, kicked her in the head, yes, really, and most recently threatened to kill her pets. My daughter has come home in tears multiple times, and I've spoken to the school, but not much has changed. Given all this, I told my daughter she absolutely doesn't have to invite this girl to her birthday. I don't want to teach her that politeness and keeping the peace should come at the cost of her own mental health and safety. I was bullied at school and couldn't escape it for the same reasons. If this were an adult friendship, I'd be telling her to cut the toxicity out of her life, and I don't think a birthday party should be an exception. Here's where I might be the a-hole. My ex-husband, her dad, thinks we should invite the girl because it's the kind thing to do and that we should be teaching her to include everyone. He says it's mean to invite all the other girls but exclude just one, and that we're teaching our daughter to be cold and unkind. I get that on the surface, excluding one kid might seem harsh, but does that still apply when the kid has made your child's life miserable? I don't want to be petty, but I also don't think my daughter should have to play host to someone who actively bullies her, just to avoid social awkwardness. Comment 1, NTA, you don't invite bullies to parties. Life is not a Disney movie and it's not up to children to heal each other. Any issues that kid has are not yours to solve. Comment 2, absolutely NTA, it's your daughter's birthday, not your ex-husband's. Does he not care that this girl is terrorizing your daughter?